So this is the completion video of the pond building Epsom. We've been videoing this whole entire project throughout the past 17 days of construction. So please watch the video, and you can watch obviously through the whole thing, how it's constructed. We just recently introduced some more fish to the pond today. The customer came down to our quarantine facility on the weekend to select a few new fish. So this is end of day one. So we've managed to break out of the sheltered existing pond, lifting up all those like large flagstones that are around the perimeter and also from the patio. So we're just preparing now so the machine drivers will be here tomorrow. So obviously we've got all the property boarded out. So we have the digger there and 2 dumpers. So we'll get most of this out tomorrow. We've also lined out the filter area along the back. As I say, it's going to be a gravity fed system, so it's got to share the same water level in the pond as in the filter. So the filter area is going to be situated in this corner here. So a nice early start tomorrow. We can get straight into the digging and obviously crack on with it really. Plan is concrete in 2 days time and leave it the weekend to go off, and then we'll start a couple of block layers on the Monday. So this is end of day 2. So we've got the whole pond excavated. So that pad is a level pad in the centre that we're just going to situate the bottom drain on. So this is, we had 5 grab lorries out of here today. So you can see we've excavated for the waterfall sub base at the back of the pond there as well. As we come around, that's just a trench for the 4-inch and the 1.5-inch pipework coming through. So once that's in, we need to gravel that and then backfill it. And then this is the filter area here that will just house the ORZ drum filters, so pumps, manifolds and UVs. So that's again going to be a concrete block construction, a decking lid over the top. And that's just a small sub base just for the path. That's just going to run to the filter area. So this is end of day 3 in the pond reconstruction in Epsom in Surrey. So we've put the A142 mesh reinforcement in the base of the pond. All the 4-inch pipe work is in. So we've got a 4-inch bottom drain, a 4-inch mid feed and a 4-inch gravity fed skimmer, all feeding the ORZ Profi L drum. It's going to situate in the filter area. So this is all ready for the concrete to be poured in tomorrow. We've also had a few deliveries of the concrete blocks as well. They got loaded straight into the dumper and obviously dumped off local to where they need to be. And on Monday we'll get them lowered down into the pond for the bricklayers that are also going to be starting the same day. So the 4-inch pipe basically goes in that trench. It's all been backfilled with pea shingle. And then they're the 4-inch pipe. So each 4-inch pipe can be purged directly to waste with a 4-inch ball valve. And then you've obviously got the ones that go directly into the filter. There's the reinforced base for the filter area as well. That tank is the sump area, so obviously all the wastewater will go down into that sump. All the floor will be screeded down towards the area. So we'll have like a grid flooring. Obviously that'll be slightly raised, and then the wastewater would then be pumped like around the garden. So again, we've got more blocks there. So plenty for the team to be getting on Friday and Monday. So by next Wednesday, the shell of the pond will be up, shell of the filter will be up, and obviously we can get it rendered ready for the drying time for the fiberglass. So that's the concrete in. So we've got a total of 9.8 metres altogether. So that's the pond. Obviously we stack the concrete blocks on the drain and also on the elbow the other side, just to stop it from floating up. In that trench there, we also put some concrete through the trench as well. So we've gravelled the pipes first, and then we put 150mm of concrete over there just to keep it nice and solid. And obviously we'll backfill on there afterwards, and we've got some sub bases going on for patio after. And That's the filter area. So once that is dry, obviously on Monday, we'll get lots of blocks bumped down there. We've got 2 bricklayers coming on Monday. So obviously like this, all the walls will start coming up very quickly. I mean, this is just like a standard rectangle pit. So two block layers will get that up nice and quickly. And that's a sub basis sort of path that runs to the filter area there as well. So we're just waiting delivery of the stone now. Obviously we're just lifting obviously all the heavy stuff like the blocks and stone and that through with the dumpers. So once all the stone's been brought through, then we can off-hire the dumpers. We tend to obviously get like large teams on the project so we can get obviously everything moving as quickly as possible, so the customers got as minimal mess for as little time really. They see big changes happening as well, which keeps everyone happy.
So this is the end of day 5. Very productive day. First of all, the main pond is basically taking shape. This is now 5.2 metres by 3.6 metres. So the inner edges, the outer edges, about ½ metre wide all round. The area at the back is a waterfall. All the pipe work's come through, with the exception of the skimmer. So we've got the lighting alcoves, auto top-up feed, the mid-feed. Here is a conduit for lighting, Venturi return, the 3-inch on the right is the trickle tower return, and another lighting alcove here. Going over to the filter area. So it's very productive today. We've also managed to complete this. So this is the 4-inch coming through. We've got purges for the drain, the mid-feed and the gravity-fed skimmer, and the 3 at the back are the actual inlets to the Profiel or Arzi drum. Here is the filter bay, which has also been expanded. This is now 4.1 metres by 1.8 metres, and this will house the Profiel filter and all the inlet and outlet manifolds. So we're at the close of day 6, this pond construction project in Epsom. As you can see, the pond is now up, scratched, and obviously taking good shape. The back edge has been done here. This will have dry stone walling at the front before the paving comes over the top so the water level and the fiberglass is not seen. To the back is where the waterfall will be located. The concrete bases will be going in for this. Also the collar around the pond and the patio area to the rear at some stage tomorrow. Just walking over towards the filter pit. So this has all now been backfilled. Filter chamber has been completed. First pipe work has been put through the wall, and you'll also see this way we have the 4-inch pipes for the filter inlets to the rear, and these are bottom drains, mid-feed and skimmer purging here. This section will be filled in with concrete tomorrow, and that will be a plinth for the Profiel filter and moving bed. 2-inch pipe coming out of that is the waste from the pit sunk down the bottom there. Also started to do the dry stone walling to cover up this pit. And so we've got about halfway through that today. This is a small flower bed at the end. As you can see, 6 days into the project, really going fast. This one really will look good. We'll show you more tomorrow.
This is end of day 7. So we spent the morning putting the A142 mesh around the perimeter of the pond and also all around the sub bases for the patio, for the surround. Around 11 o'clock we had 6 metres of concrete delivered. So you can see on this is going to be patio all the way around this one, the edge here, and then here we're going to have like a semi-submerged rock shelf. So we'll have tomorrow we'll build a retaining wall all the way around the perimeter of the pond, and it will be glassed up like that and ready for the rock work to be positioned. And that patio basically continues all the way around to the filter area. You can see over there. And then we put another sub base down here for some steps to go down onto the lower level. We've also concreted the plinth for the filter. So tomorrow we can start installing the ORZ Profiel drum that's just over there. We also obviously had time to render the pond today, so we scratch coated it yesterday. We've just done the final coat today and ready for it to be screeded tomorrow. So we put about 50 to 60 mil of screed from the outside down to 10 mil down to the drains with just a slight fall going down to the centre. And we've got the sub base of the waterfall over there. That'll also be started tomorrow. So this is the end of day 8 of the pond construction in Epsom in Surrey. So today we screeded the base of the pond. So we've got a 3-inch fall that goes down to the bottom drain in the centre. The perimeter walls have obviously been finished off as well. Tomorrow we'll render them. The waterfall's been constructed, like the shell of the waterfall. Obviously tomorrow we're going to give it all a scratch coat and then a render, final render. And then early next week it'll be ready for the drying process before it's fiberglassed. So we just put just a few boards on the roof over the filter pit so we can also start fitting the pit out tomorrow. We've got all the pipe work and everything on site. And over there, just with all the materials, we've spreaded all the rock out so we can see exactly what pieces we've got. We need to go back to the quarry to hand select some larger pieces for the waterfall and a few sections for the rockery as well. So this is end of day 9 on the pond construction in Epsom. So the whole pond shell and the waterfall shell is now ready to be fiberglassed. So it's all been screeded, rendered. So now you just got to give it probably 5 to 6 days drying out before we can glass fibre it. Obviously it has to be bone dry when you fiberglass the pond, so literally like the render's got to be nice and white. Obviously if the weather stays like it does now, it'll be done next Saturday. If the weather takes a turn for the worst, we'll have to arrange a cover over the top just to dry it out to keep the project moving. So on Monday now, we've covered the filter area up over there so we can make a start on installing the filters. We've also got all the paving delivered and it's nice and local to the pond now. So our paver will start bringing this path around, bringing the patio around. We'll just have to stop short of the pond for now because when obviously they fiberglass, they come up over and then they lip it over here and then the paver then goes over the top, so you haven't got any risk of delamination or anything. Just a little recap for anyone that hasn't seen the previous videos. So it's a 4-inch bottom drain, a 4-inch mid feed and a 4-inch gravity fed skimmer going to an ORZ Profiel filter. You've got 2 light boxes, one there and one there, so the actual submersible light stays fit flush to there. You've got a 3-inch conduit there and there for the light that goes underneath the waterfall, and we've got 2 returns, 2.5-inch returns going back to the pond. We've got a 2-inch return going back to the waterfall and a further 1.5 inches going back to the waterfall as well. It's going to be quite a wide fall on this one, so it might require a booster pump, or if the customer wants a separate pump on a timer, so it's not on all of the time, it can be done. So everything, when we put the rockery back together, you'll see all these conduits are also buried. So obviously for future lights and that kind of thing, we can, all of these conduits will run basically back to the pit. A really successful project, it's moving really well. Weather's been on our side on this one, but the team's done a really good job in the last 9 days or so. You'll see in the distance over there, we've got all the rock ready. So once the pond's glassed, we're going to go drywall round the front here, semi-submerged rock around the back of the shelf there, and obviously the waterfall have nice large drops, plus like a rockery surrounding that as well. So this is end of day 10. So we've had a day doing all the pipe work, fitting everything up. See, that is the 2-inch pressure inlet manifold to the pumps. So we've got ORZ Aquamax Premium 20,000 and a Aquamax Expert 26,000 currently on this. So you'll know all of that is 2-inch pressure grade pipe work, double union ball valves. We've got the board up there so if to mount any sockets or anything like that. On the opposite, we've mounted the GRP boards for the RCBOs and obviously any other sockets for the pumps and UVs, etc. So we've got the UVs on there. That's the outlet manifold, so obviously we can regulate the flow going back to wall. Bits such as the heat pump, waterfall, obviously like low returns. We need a couple more ball valves for this. So this is the 4-inch purges for the skimmer, bottom drain and mid feed, and in which you've got those on the wall there. So that's the inlets going to the filters. This is the balancing tank, so the auto top-up tank, where we've got the overflow, the 1.5-inch overflow in there, and then I've also got the auto top-up in there. Everything done on valves, so everything can be isolated. And that is the ORZ Profiel drum there. So that is the drum, and there's the moving bed. So this is day 12 of us on site. You can see now that the pond has been fully fiberglassed. So since it's been glass, it's had 48 hours to cure inside the encapsulation. So we've had like the 2 electric space heaters running on there at 24 hours a day. So it's cured nicely given the temperatures. Today's job is putting the rock on edge basically around the perimeter of the pond, and also start constructing the waterfall. We're going to leave this encapsulation up, so at the end of the day we can just like drop the sides back down just to protect it from any frost. We're also going to leave the space heaters running as well, so we just won't have any issues with obviously the actual temperature at this time of year. So, obviously the customers opted for black on this pond. It's a very nice finish. And before we fill it up, we go around and give it like a nice rasp around, just to get any like small spikes, like bits of fluff from the roller. And we also do a malachite and hot wash on the pond just to draw any styrene out.
Good morning. So this is day 14, although we're still early, so I'm effectively showing you day 13's work. We've just cut the curves in the patio and the ponds around. As you can see, the waterfall was previously completed. That just needs to be filled and tested now. So walk you around through the patio, which is still to be pointed. Today we're going to be completing a little bit of pipe work in the filter chamber, and also connecting the heat pump to the waterfall, low returns, etc. Still a path now to be added to the back of this filter area, so it leads up. Steps here to the lower level of lawn have been completed. That just needs dressing and reseeding. So really the next couple of days we're going to be doing the majority of the completing the rockery, getting the jet patio jet wash pointed, and really starting to clear site before we add the final touches before the pond's completed and commissioned.
So this is day 14 of the job in Epsom. So today was spent finishing off the rockery. I've also been dressing it with some topsoil as well. At this stage, generally the rockeries look quite heavy in rock, but obviously once you actually get it planted up, then it really softens it up. So obviously we're going to be picking some nice acers and some ornamental grasses for this one. We set a temporary tank up in the pond with a sump pump pumping up to the waterfall, so we could get that running just to see how it run. Generally just had to make some adjustments just on these rocks here and then, just using an angle grinder and obviously just chiseling off just like any high areas of the rock, so we can get even like water distribution over the whole fall. So that runs really nicely. Around the back of these rocks as well, these are like just for like small water plants, so we use the Lytag planting media, so obviously it's a lot cleaner than the soil, so you'll have some water plants in there. So as you see, obviously the patio has been done, like the edge has been ground off around there, and we just started to make a start on clearing the site as well. So obviously all the rock that we didn't use and all old material that aren't going to be used at all, we just basically cleared it up so we can give the grass a rake over, and then that can recover. We also run the armoured cables at the back, so they go to some sockets behind here. Obviously we run the armoured cables over to the filter area, just a 6mm armoured for the heat pump and 2 4mm I think one for a 24-hour circuit and the other for a timed lighting circuit as well. So this is the 16th working day now, and we're just starting to fill the pond today. So we had a good day today, apart from a little rain. So we pointed up all around the actual patio. We just used the resin brushing pointing for this. The pond's been malachited and rasped just to take off any sharp imperfections. The internal pipework's done. The lights have obviously all been threaded through the conduits. The whole thing's been jet washed down, all the rockery's been jet washed and everything. So you'll see the auto top up's been left on, so if you can see just in that, that's a 2-inch flange tank connector there, that's where it's filling up from. So when it obviously gets to its normal level, which is about halfway up the surface skimmer, the ball valve will switch itself off. So we've cleared the rest of the site as well, as much as what we could. Flip the balls over just so the grass can recover a little better. As we walk around here, we finished off the drywall around the filter pit as well. So that drywall's all been finished now. So that goes there, and that obviously returns around the corner. So we just need to do things, obviously finish off the haunching on the front here, just to give the grass a nice rake out or whatnot. And that's the same as around the front. We've done the haunching around the front of the patio area. And obviously this ground level is then going to come up, and when we're going to turf it or seed it, but then obviously that will finish level with the patio. So next visit on this one, obviously once the pond's filled up, we can get the whole thing up and running. Obviously I commission the pond, get the waterfall and everything running. We'll give it a couple of days to warm up, and then we can put the customer's fish back. So it's been a great a really successful project like this one. So we've had a few challenging days weather-wise, but we've obviously overcome everything really. Just looking forward to seeing the finished article now. We've been videoing for the last 17 days on this project. You'll be able, if you watch the video back, you'll be able to see the pond from the initial digging part, and all the way through to obviously being filled up. We've just put some more fish in here today. The customer came down to our quarantine facility over the weekend to select a few 3-year-olds. So the pond's at 18 degrees now, be at a heat pump, they're nice and happy.